Hello, I'm Trent, aka O Trademark. I'm going to show you guys what the most valuable game passes in anime fighters are. I get this question a lot in stream, so I wanted to cover it. We've had a video in the past, but here's the thing. The values of the game passes have changed dramatically over, the years, since in the current state of the game, what was valuable in the past is now kind of trash, or like things have mixed up a lot. So let's kind of cover this. And let's first of all talk about quality of life game passes. So there's a lot of those in the game: auto clicker, magnet, sprint, teleport, things like that, which are basically just convenience. Big vault slots, etc. They're just quality of life things. But they are locked behind Robux, and so those are all going to be subjective to you. Same with kind of like auto attack. Those things do provide value. It makes you faster. It makes it less annoying to pick stuff up. It gives you auto click damage, but it makes it more convenient to teleport anywhere, but you don't have to have those things. It's not like it's just gonna be more manual work for you. Okay. So those are just things that you have to kind of decide for yourself if you actually want them or not. As far as the actual things that you can buy which provide value to you, let's just start up here in the top left, and we'll just kind of go game pass to game pass. So VIP gives you basically like a reduction on the star cost. VIP and 2 times yen used to be pretty valuable in the game, but nowadays, because you can get shiny pots quite easily, because of the way that yen works with opens and auto selling, you actually can just make pretty much infinite yen in the late game eventually. So you don't actually need this. I would say it's only valuable like when you're pushing through the worlds early on. Late game, you're going to have no use for yen. It basically becomes an infinite resource that you don't really ever think about. And so these two game passes have pretty low value, in my opinion. Next up, we have 2 times XP. Now, this is a weird game pass because this game pass does affect both fusing and incubators. However, depending on which update you're in, depends on whether it's actually useful or not. For example, in our last update, it was very hard to max units out in the incubator, especially if they had like double protagonists. But this update, they boosted the incubators up quite a bit so that it's actually quite easy to actually max out units in the incubator. Given you add that onto the time artifact changes that they did and the time event and everything, it was actually very, very easy to max things out right now in the current state of the game. But if they ever take away the +5 boost events, if they ever take away or if they ever scale those level differences higher and it becomes much harder to actually max units out, levels are very, very valuable. So it is valuable anytime it's hard to level up units. When it isn't hard to level up units, then it's pretty worthless and not very valuable. So these 3 are kind of, I would say, pass on. Teleport, we already talked about. It's quality of life. Let's talk about the backpacks. So backpacks are basically how much space you can have for units in your inventory. Usually you don't need a lot of space for your units. They'll probably take up very little amounts of your backpack. But the reason why backpack is actually very valuable is because of max opens. Max opens, when you do a max open, it is based on the amount of available space in your backpack. So what that means for you, you need to go and get as many of your backpack upgrades from doing the quests in each world. And then it is very valuable to actually have these 2 game passes right here. One is 399 and gives you like 1,000 slots. The other one is 99 Robux, and I forget how many slots it gives you. But those 500 Robux would be well spent, because if you think about it, if I'm opening at the same speed as you, max opening at the same speed of you, but I have 1,000 extra backpack slots, and we're max opening every few seconds in the current update, I'm going to, over the course of a day, I'm going to open like 2 to 3 times as many, or like a lot more stars than you're going to with half of the backpack size or a third of the backpack size. So backpacks are actually very valuable. Highly recommend that you get them if possible. Next of all, we have the luckies. Now, people always, in my opinion, overvalue the luckies. They used to be arguably the best game passes in the game. Lucky 1 gives you 1 point of luck. Maybe that is wrong. I have to actually check. Yeah, no, it is 1. It's 1 point of luck and then 2 points of luck for super lucky and plus 3 points of luck for ultra lucky. Okay, so together between all 3 of them, you get 6 points of luck. Now that used to be amazing. It used to be one of the biggest sources of luck in the game. However, nowadays, because you can get lucky 3 utility teams, because you can get upgrades through playing the game, a certain amount of hours that you get, you're going to unlock lucky upgrades. And because of max opens and how important max open cooldowns are, luck has actually dwindled in value. And I would say this is one of the worst value game passes to actually buy nowadays. Ultra lucky at 2,000 Robux, I would never recommend people buy it at this point in the game. The first lucky one, if you're brand new and you need that little extra, like early points of luck, if you're under 10 luck is important. So I could justify maybe buying the first 2 if you were like a new pay to win player in this game. But, or even just lucky 1 is going to benefit you early on. But these 2 are probably pretty overpriced, and especially the third one is definitely not worth investing in the long run. Next of all, we have fast open. Now, fast open, when it comes to just doing the auto open, is kind of worthless. There's not really a point in it. It used to have a lot of value, but nowadays, it does give you a little bit of value in your max opens, in that the max open animation completes a little bit faster when you have fast open. Not a little bit, it's like twice as fast actually. So what I would say is that fast open becomes important when you get your max open cooldown to less than, like, if you can get it under 3 seconds on your max open cooldown, then I would look into getting fast open, because eventually when your when your max open cooldown is very low, like right now, I can make my max open cooldown literally 1 second. And if I didn't have the fast open game pass, I would have to wait for the animation to finish, a much longer animation, before I can max open again. So fast open, it is valuable later on if you have a very high time multiplier. Next of all, multi-open. This gives you more stars, but only for your auto-open openings. So again, it's very strange because like the entire game has shifted. No one really even opens anymore unless there's not an event going on. And I don't see how they're going to take away events easily without just upsetting a huge amount of the player base. So maybe in the future, if they take away events and your cooldown on your max open is like back to 45 seconds to a minute, then you could consider getting this. But I think this is one of the worst game passes in the game. I would not recommend it at all. Next up, we have the Extra Equip Game Pass. Now, the Extra Equip Game Pass is actually probably the most valuable game pass in the game. Okay, it gives you +3 equips on your team. And the reason why those slots are so important is because they benefit you everywhere. They give you more damage when you're trying to deal damage. They give you more drop rate when you're using your Draconic team. They give you more luck when you're using your luck team. Those extra equip slots are going to benefit you in every single aspect of the game. So I would highly recommend getting +3 equips if you can. It's probably one of, if not the most important game pass in the game to actually purchase. It is a little expensive with 600 Robux, but it pays off. We already talked about these 3, the quality of life ones. Let's talk about 2x drops. 2x drops is actually a really good game pass. It's going to double the amount of items that you get from a dungeon. It's going to double, I'm not sure if it actually doubles ray shards, but I think it does double time trial shards, which are important for boosts and stuff. So it's 500 Robux. I would say it's very good. Someone asked me the other day what they should get between passive luck and 2x drops. Definitely get 2x drops first because it costs half as much, but you're basically accomplishing the same thing. You're going to get 2 times as many rerolls with 2x drops, which gives you 2 times as many good passives. You're going to get twice the amount of secret passives, twice the amount of mythic passives, etc. However, passive luck also doubles your luck passive, so you're going to get twice as many secret passives, twice as many mythic passives, but it costs 999 Robux. So they're both very important for getting rare passives. However, one is half as much. So 2x drops, very high value. I would say maybe in the top 4 or 5 of game passes. Extra equip, and then I would probably buy half cooldown. So let's talk about half cooldown. It literally halves the time of your max open cooldown. So if you're at 30 seconds on your max open cooldown, you buy this, it's going to be 15 seconds. That means twice the amount of stars open, which is twice the amount of divines, secrets, everything that you're going for. You're going to get it twice as fast by using this half cooldown game pass. So I would probably buy extra equip here and then half cooldown. But in order for half cooldown to really be to get value there, what you're going to want to do is actually have big backpack, small backpack. Basically, you need these in conjunction. You need both of them is essentially what I'm actually saying. So you need the big backpack, the small backpack, etc. And those are both going to be very, very valuable to actually move forward from there. All right, next up we have, let's see. Half cooldown, passive luck, vault slots. Vault slots are not that important. I really wouldn't worry about them. If you are a collector and you really want to collect a lot of units in the game, you will want to get this because you want to take units out of your backpack and put it into the vault, because your backpack is how much space you have for max opens, whereas the vaults can be filled with anything that you're saving. I fill my vaults up with like my Robux units or any cool units that I like that I might want to illusion to at one point. And then finally we have auto attack and instant passive rerolls. These are the 2 new game passes that were added to the game. 500 Robux, and I actually think this one is still 150 Robux, so this is actually even a little bit cheaper than this one. Auto attack, even though it's a quality of life upgrade, to me, I personally would not play anime fighters. It's probably the single best thing that has happened to anime fighters, in my opinion, that makes the game so much more enjoyable for me. So I would literally not play this game without auto attack. Just the ability to go through dungeons, to go through time trials and not have to worry about clicking on every single thing. It's just so much better. And so I would actually rank this pretty high, even above some of the value, like passive luck, even above some of the things like maybe, like any of these things up here. Probably not backpack, but it's still a very good game pass, and I would highly recommend you getting it. And then finally, we have the instant passive rerolls. All that does is it takes away the passive animation. So if you've ever spun on the machine, usually you have like this wheel that's kind of like you can think of it like a casino slot machine that's going across, and you basically have to wait a certain amount of time to see what you roll. This just allows you to skip that animation and you roll pretty quickly. Now, it's not as fast as something like Anime Adventures or Warriors. However, it does still have the protection that is in place for the other rerolls. So like you're not going to accidentally roll off of like a secret passive. If you're using this, all of those protections are still in place. So it's quite a good game pass, especially for only being 150 Robux. I think it's worth picking up. But anyways, guys, this game is one of those games where your game passes are going to pay off the longer that you play this game. So if you're enjoying the game but you don't plan on playing it for another 3 to 6 months or a year, I probably wouldn't buy a lot of the stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of the quality of life is locked behind the Robux stuff. That is why we're trying to change that with Anime Champions. We're going to make it so that we're not locking those behind Robux. Any player can earn them. But yeah, if you're not going to invest in the long term of the game, I probably wouldn't actually pursue the game passes. So hopefully this helps. Malo, Albito, thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out of here.